down? It's DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome to another stream. Today we're doing the aftermath of the 360-degree hardcore party that took place in Leicester on Friday night. And if you don't know what these like aftermath streams are, they're just basically where like I come live and I just talk about like how the event went. Um, Normally if I take like footage of an event, like if I get any videos like of my set or just anything, in general that kind of shows me at the event, then I try to put them on YouTube as well before the aftermath. And sometimes, to tell you the truth, I don't always play at like events that get like really busy. Sometimes I play a lot of like average events where they don't really get too busy. Sometimes they do all right. Sometimes they don't, and even sometimes if I'm at some like sort of like event that does like a really good turnout, I'm normally like on like a warm up set or like a last set. So sometimes at the times when I'm playing, it kind of isn't that busy because I don't play them sort of like prime time slots, if that makes sense. So sometimes I'm playing like just as people are arriving or just as people are sort of starting to get to that point where they're ready to go home. So if that usually is the case, and I don't always like to take a lot of videos because it can kind of sometimes give like events that can kind of give them a bad name. And one big thing about the music scene is people like to create drama. They like to cause arguments. They like to thrive off a little bit of drama. And for example, they can watch a video, and in the video there's not that many people there, and then some people go around like causing rumors and slating events, and it can just like give a bad name to a brand, and then people think, oh, it didn't get that busy. I'm glad I didn't go. And then they do another event, and then people decide not to go because they think, oh, it wasn't that busy. Or judging by the last one, it didn't look that good. When in all sense, it was maybe just a warm up set. And some of the, if there's any videos of later on, you know it could look a lot more busier, if that makes sense. So yeah, so sadly this one, it didn't get mega busy. It didn't do too bad. I think I took like one video that I put on my Instagram story. My phone is like really low on storage at the moment. I need to get like a little memory card for it because like I'm really struggling on storage. But yeah, it just didn't do too well. In terms of like people wise, it was a really good night. It was really enjoyable. And at one point, like when everybody kind of came onto the dance floor, it didn't look too bad. But a lot of the night was just like a couple of people dancing. There was some people sat down socializing, and then there was some people that were just stood outside in the smoking area. So there was a little bit of a mixture of all sorts, really. And I didn't have the best experience at the event, and it wasn't by all means, it was nothing to do with the event. It was actually some couple of things that happened prior to the event that just kind of sort of put my mood a little bit sort of, where like I kind of thought like, I'm not really feeling it anymore. And like it was nothing to do with the brand. It was nothing to do, with the event. The event was absolutely amazing as far as I'm concerned. It was a really good night. The music was on point all night. The sets were banging. Just personally, a couple of things had kind of happened prior to the event. And when you're kind of having like a good day, and then your good day just kind of turns into not so good. That was kind of the case. So I won't go into like all the glory details, but I'll tell you one detail, which was my own fault, but it was probably caused by stress from what had happened earlier on. So first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to my good friend Adam Cartwright, who came along to watch this event with me and see me play, and he also supplied me a lift to the event and back. So he drove there and he drove back, and we had a really good time. And we actually had quite a good chat in the car and stuff about music and different things, and was just having a real good, just a good friendly chat, as you're driving along. um, so he picked me up sort of, I think it was just after 6:30. The traffic was absolutely chaotic getting out of Hull, and I'd been with my mum earlier, and we essentially I was going to go to hers for a little bit, just because I had a little bit of time to kill in the afternoon, and she was out and about when I rang, but there was somebody who was like able to give me a lift who she was with. So they came to pick me up essentially, and when they came to pick me up, the traffic was just absolutely gridlocked like all the way through Hull, and we sort of aborted and decided just to go to a McDonald's instead, because there was no way we was going to get sort of to where my mum sort of was staying, and yeah, we just decided that we was gonna, just abort and go to Mackey's. So we did all that, and it got gridlocked. And then by the time I got picked up for me lift to the event, the traffic was actually not much better. And I think there was I think something had gone on, and we were at a set of traffic lights where it like changes really quick. So like it doesn't stay on green for long. So we eventually got out of Hull, and when we did get out of Hull, it was finally, a little bit of clear road. Was having a good chat. Was having a really good music chat. There was some music on in the car, some banging bounds, and I was quite pumped up for the event, but I was still a little bit sort of just something had happened earlier. I wasn't just feeling too good, but I was just kind of like, forget about that. You've got a good gig tonight. Go and smash this gig in. And we got about halfway to Leicester, and I just sort of for some reason I just thought, check your pockets and just check, that you've got everything. And I'm checking my pockets, and I thought, where's my keys? My keys to my flat. Essential things that you need to get back home. And I'm feeling around, and I'm checking both trousers pockets, and then I'm checking the coat pockets. And then I'm thinking like I can't feel them, and then I'm thinking, well, I might have not actually put them back in my pocket when I got into the car, and they might be just on the seat, or they might have just slid off onto the floor and I haven't realised. So trying to have a quick look, but like when my mate's in the middle of driving and you've got your belt on, and you can't really sort of fully check. So I was like, all right, well, we'll check when we pull up, see if you've got them. So we check when we pull up, and sadly there's like no signs of the keys. So the only thing at this point I could think of was like I've actually like left them in the flat, and I've come out, and like, because the door's like a fire door, so as soon as you come out the door it slams shut really quick, like boom. And like if you just, if it does that, like it locks, and then that's it. Like, if you haven't got the key, you've got no way of getting in. And then it's like the same with the main door downstairs as well. It's on like a latch, so once it shuts, you can't get back in unless it's taken off the latch. But at this point, like, even if I had have got in downstairs, like, I wouldn't have been able to get up to, my actual room itself. So it just kind of thinking, racking my brains, like, what, what have I done with these keys? Um, and that was just one of the things like why I probably just didn't feel the event too like as much as I normally would, because in the back of my mind I'm thinking about this key and what's happened with this key. Um, anyway, so I had to just give my mum a bell and say, look, made a mistake. I've made an error. I've somehow managed to misplace an house key. I had to go and stop with her when we got back from Leicester, which wasn't the most ideal thing because it's only like a small place, but like it obviously it obviously did. And then the place where I stay, like the office for the support worker, doesn't open until Monday, so I was kind of like, well, I can't really do anything until Monday. So I've come over to the grandparents, which I was going to do that anyway. That was like my weekend plan. But I was going to obviously go back home and like freshen up and pack some stuff to bring, and it all kind of just fell through because of the key. So that was probably why I didn't feel the event as much as like I normally would, but I still had a good time, I still had a great time. And, once I sort of realised, like, I'm going to go back and stay at my mum's, it kind of like put my mind at ease a little bit. Um, and then I did my set. So let's talk a little bit about the set because the set was actually banging. The set was actually really banging. It was really good. And so I was originally supposed to go B2B with DJ Danta, and we was on the way to Leicester, and he sent me a text to say that he's not going to make it because his starter motor has gone in the car. So he was actually pulled at the roadside waiting for the RAC, which would be an absolutely gutting thing when you've been looking forward to playing a set, and then when you're kind of on your way there and you're all excited and you've got your tunes packed, and then suddenly boom, your starter motor cuts out. And he was sat there waiting for the RAC. That was the last thing I heard from him. Never heard like whether the RAC came to him or whether he got sorted, or how he got back home or what actually happened to him. So I got to the event, and obviously I'm on second of the night, so first DJ's playing. So I'm let someone know, look, he's not gonna turn up. He's something with his starter motor. Um, yes, big shout to Jennifer, big respect. And yes, I ended up going B2B with Spez. He was originally going on last, and then he sort of said, "Well, I'll come on now, just in case things like really quieten down sort of towards the end of the night." So he came on, and basically we just played like an amazing B2B set that we've never gone back to back before. We've never played on a pair of decks together before, and we just played a set that clicked. Now, originally the idea of my set with Danta was we was gonna sort of start off with like a little bit of a vocally set, and then we was gonna kind of like just switch it up a little bit as the set went on, and it sort of towards the end was going to sort of bring it to be a little bit more sort of harder. And anyway, obviously it changed to me and Spez. So I started off with a couple of vocally tunes, they were quite nice, and then Spez came in and it sounded a little bit more banging, and I just thought after that, like, I just thought, you know what, like, like I just want to go in at this point, and I felt like just proper slamming some hard tunes with some heavy drops, and so I did. And then like when I did that, it was almost kind of like he responded to that and he knew what to do. And then after that, it was kind of like, well, this is what he's done, this is where it's gone. And then we just played this like banging set where we just bounced with each other. It was like I played tunes and then he kind of knew what to sort of bring in to fit with that. and then he played tunes, and I sort of thought, you know what, I'm gonna drop this one next, and just had like a really enjoyable set. To be fair, it was just something that was really fun. And then we handed over to DJ Slate and DJ Delight, who absolutely stole the night away. They played an absolutely banging set, and they really came in after us, and really just what I'd say, they just really like leveled up from what we'd done, which is kind of what you want with the night. You kind of want a night to keep getting better, and each set to kind of like just be absolutely banging, and their set was. But the set of the night, it had to be DJC and MC Jack. Hands down, DJC is an absolute wizard behind them decks. He's an absolute core wizard, and he just absolutely just demolished the set. It was just every drop and double dropping these hardcore tunes, and the basses that were coming in, and some of the mixes just sounded absolutely, they just sounded like absolutely just out of this world. It was just like, the mixing was so tight, and the second it was like going out of beat, it was like he realized, and he knocked it back in, and he just played some absolute monster tunes. It was like really, it was really good. It was amazing. Um, Played loads of like well-known sing-alongs, and just loads of real big drop tunes, and just proper, absolutely just demolished the set, and just absolutely loved it. It was really good. And then shortly after DJC, we actually left because we had a good sort of couple of hours drive, and because I was going back to stay somewhere else as well, I thought I can't be too late coming back. Got to be a little bit respectful when I'm not going back to my own house at this point. So I sort of tried not to, and because it was a couple of hours, like by the time we got back, it was like going up for 4 o'clock anyway. So we hit the road. And I ain't gonna lie to you, like most of the journey back, I don't remember because I just sort of fell asleep. I was just really like, I'd had a fairly busy week at work, and then like, and I'd a lot going on with work and stuff, and I think it just sometimes it catches up on you, and then it was getting late as it was, and like I'd been at work all week, and then we drove all the way to Leicester, and then I jumped around during my set, and hands up, and was singing along, and then just coming home, you sort of, it was really cold outside, and then we get in the car, and the heater comes on in the car, and you get laid, and you get chilled, and you come out of that rave, and your ears are just a bit ringing, and you just take a moment to sit there, and it kind of come back to life, and then you kind of get warm, and you get cozy, and then the next minute you're dozing off, and then you're trying to sort of stay awake, and then before you know it, you come back round again, and and you've covered like a good 60 miles, and then you think like, geez, we got home really quick, and is there any wonder that we got home really quick? So yeah, that was absolutely crazy. That was absolutely crazy. So it was still a good event, and hopefully they do some more hardcore events, and I can go back down and play some nights, and they'll get some stuff going, and we'll see sort of where we go. We'll see where we go, and see what happens, and stuff like that, and we'll take it sort of from there. But I always like going there. I always like going and playing there, and Mark, who runs the nightclub, he's always been like nice enough to me. He's always been sound. I've been going there for nearly 3 years now, and I've always loved going there, whether I played upstairs, whether I played downstairs. it's always been a pleasure to go into his nightclub and to play sets and stuff like that. I've mainly only ever played hardcore sets. I've played one bounce set in his nightclub, but I've always had a great time, nevertheless. So yeah, so that was the 360-degree hardcore party. I also saw some people there that I hadn't seen for a while, just people that because I used to go to Leicester quite a lot where when they ran the DNA events. I think I was kind of became like a resident at one point and played like most events, and there was like familiar people that would like come to every event because they enjoyed it, they enjoyed the vibe. And then obviously when them events kind of stopped, maybe some of them just hadn't been coming out as much, or for whatever reason I hadn't seen them much. And then obviously I got to see him again. It was nice just to see him. It was nice just to have a little bit of a catch up, and it was nice to meet some new people as well. It was really nice to see some new people. So that was obviously a good thing, uh, you know. So yeah, so upon the 360-degree hardcore event, I've got some like announcements. I've got some like things to announce. I've got some things that are going to be coming up, and some of them I can't announce just yet. But there is something that I can announce. Well, there's two things I can announce. One, I can't go into detail, but I can tell you on Friday dinner time, I got a phone call that I kind of didn't expect to get. And I've been booked for an event in Sheffield that is taking place next year. It's in January. It's their next edition of the event, and I'm gonna be playing a B2B, and I'm playing a style of music that I have never played out in a club before, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because it's a little bit different for me, like because I've not played the style before. I know the person who runs the event brand, and he's a very very sound guy, and he did say when I went to his last event and just attended as a raver, and he did say that like he was gonna put me on one of his events in 2024. But he was he'd had a few drinks when he'd said that. To be honest with you, and sometimes people can say stuff when they've had a drink, and then when they're actually sober, like they don't remember that they've said it. So there's countless times where promoters have said to me and they've had a few drinks, like, oh, we'll put you on the next event, or we're going to put you on a future event, and then it just doesn't happen. So I kind of just didn't really expect it to happen, or didn't really know when it was going to happen. And I got the call on dinner time, had a little bit of a chat. And yeah, so keep an eye out for the 28th of January, 2024, because I'm going to be coming up to Sheffield, or coming across, or however you want to say it, and doing a gig in a club where I've been in before, not to play, but I've like been there before. It's like right round the corner from where they run the famous uprising events, and it's a real nice little place, and they have like a record shop downstairs and like a music shop downstairs, so appeals to me in that sense, um, which is really good. And then, second of all, I want to announce to you a new alias. So I'm started a new alias called Groovin. And what I'm going to do with this Groovin alias is I'm going to be producing some different styles of music. So I'm going to do like EDM, I'm gonna do like house. It's gonna probably mainly be like EDM and house, but probably mainly more like on the house side of things. So I want to do some like some real like proper nice like deep house and funky house and maybe some like fidget house vibes. When I say EDM, like some like EDM like the old Martin Garrix and stuff like that, where they used to go into like them sort of like real big, sort of like real big festival drops. You know, some stuff like that, and it kind of came about kind of a little bit accidental. So I've always wanted to kind of like delve into like making some house music. It's always been something that I've always wanted to do, and I've attempted it a couple of times and just never been happy with like whatever I was working on. The last one I was working on, I was quite happy with, and then the computer crashed, and when I lost loads of stuff, so I actually lost it. Um, but yeah, so it was all a bit accidental. So for those of you who don't know, you may or may not know, you may or may not remember, but I announced that at Christmas I'm releasing a free album. It's going to have 10 tracks on it that you can grab for free. And essentially, I wanted 2 tracks on the album to be like a collaboration track, so me and somebody else to collab on a track. So I asked a friend of mine called Lee Wright if he fancied doing a track with me. We did the Pretty Green Eyes. It was a really good track, and we always said that was going to do some more tracks together. And I just said, look, do you want to do one for the album? And he was like, yeah, I'd love to do one for the album. What do you have in mind? So I sent him some stems to an old tune that I've loved for years, and and essentially I sent them to him, and he tried having a play around with them, and he said, look, it doesn't really sound that good, speed it up to the bounce speed. So we was originally gonna just do like a sort of 145, more like a Clubland, more like a Clubland stroke slower Scouse version. And then that still didn't really sound too good, so he said, look, we could do like a sort of EDM, sort of house style of the track. And I kind of thought, do you know what? Like, I've always kind of wanted to make a house tune, so let's give it a go. And let's do like an EDM sort of version of the track. And then that's when I kind of thought, I don't want to put it under Noble, because Noble is what I release all the bounce stuff on. So I kind of decided that I wanted to come up with like a little sort of like alias, and I wanted something that would sound good. So I came up with the name Groovin, just Groovin. I thought Groovin is just it's a nice sort of groovy name for house. It doesn't really sound too like a guy called Groovin would make donk. You've got like Groove Control, you've got Groove Coverage, who did like Clubland stuff, and there was Groove Armada, there was the Groove Hustlers, but just Groove in itself, I just thought is like quite a really good, someone who would make a lot of house, maybe would make some garage and stuff, like that. So I decided to make that, and then I brainstormed upon another idea, which I'm not going to go too much into detail about it just yet. Um, but I have had a little bit of an idea, and it's an idea that I'm hoping to launch next year. It's something I want to launch at the beginning of next year, and it's something that is going to start off small, and hopefully it's something that will expand. I've got like loads of ideas for it, but if the general sort of idea will work, then I'm going to be quite happy. It's something that I'm going to have to invest some time into. Not only invest time into, but I'm going to have to invest some money into it as well. It's not something, if I don't start it off right, then it's just not going to grow. Do you know what I mean? So, it needs to start off right. So I hit up a guy, and I don't like telling people my ideas because people can just as easily like steal ideas. But I knew this guy had a little bit of a expertise when it comes to like websites and things like that. So that's a little hint there to what the project might be. So I asked him, I sort of said, look, it worked as a part of something else. And I said, look, when you made the website, sort of how did you make it? How did you sort of go about doing it? And he just sort of gave me a little bit of, told me where he kind of like, he got the website made and stuff like that, and then just basically shedded a little bit of light. And I thought, I do kind of understand, but I don't fully understand. And I thought websites are kind of like your expertise. So I asked him, did he want to help with the project? Would he help, sort of get the project up and running? And obviously I'd throw him some money his way for helping me out and sort of, devoting his time. So probably to help me sort of get the website up and running for whatever it is, that it's going to be, and that will obviously be like the main thing, so there's going to be a project that is going to hopefully be launching in early 2024. So when I say early, I don't want to launch it too early because I don't want it to be rushed. I don't want it to not be good. So I'm kind of thinking to sort of go with like early February to maybe like late February, early March, depending. So I'm not gonna say like, we're gonna launch it in January. I'm sort of hoping maybe we go a little bit more towards February, and see how that sort of goes. And if it goes well, then obviously we'll launch it round then, and stuff like that, and it should be really good. So I'm kind of a little bit nervous, but like I feel like this is something that could do really well. And not only could it do really well, but it could help people, like up and coming people who are trying to get out there a little bit more, and it's going to expand sort of like the different styles of music as well, which will be really good. And it's all kind of in a way going to be linked to grooving as well, but it's not like it's gonna focus on loads of different genres of music, and bounce will be included. Um, so we'll see sort of what we can come up with, but obviously I'm gonna look into it a little bit more this week, and I'm gonna kind of like write what's kind of needed, and we'll sort of take it there, and I'll look into it a little bit more when I can get onto my computer at home. But essentially, cutting the story short, I am going to essentially, hopefully, launch a project in 2024, and I will be making some announcements very soon. This project will also mean that I will be making another YouTube channel. I'll be making a new Facebook page. I'll be making a new Instagram account as well. Obviously, it doesn't mean I'll be stopping streaming on here. It's just obviously like the project will have to have its own sort of social medias, so it can kind of grow. Let's say as a brand, as like a brand, as a brand, you know. Um, but it should be really good. It should be absolutely fantastic, and we'll see sort of how it goes. And yeah, we'll just essentially see sort of what happens. So all I can say is keep your eyes peeled for more announcements. Like I say, it's only at the very early stages yet of just an idea, and I'm just at that stage where I'm kind of getting the question. asking the questions and getting the answers that I need to know before I can say, right, let's buy this and let's do this. And once I sort of know this can work or this won't work, it will kind of put my mind at ease, and it will essentially, hopefully, become a good thing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is literally it. So, a gig in January and a new Alias grooving that we're gonna make some house music with. I don't know how often because I made the Mad Ash Alias and that was like for making hardcore, and I think I only ever did like I think properly I only ever did one track as Mad Ash, and then I just obviously never did any more with it, which is a little bit of a shame. I just don't really always get round to it. And I think for me, like, I want to go in a different direction to making hardcore. As much as I love hardcore, I might do some stuff with the Mad Ash Alias. Like, I'm not going to get rid of it. It'll always be there. Like, if an idea pops to mind or there's something that I want to make, obviously, we'll see what happens. But essentially, at the moment, I'm surely focused on making making the bounce, and then I want to delve into making some real feel good sort of like piano house and stuff. So yeah, so make sure to like, make sure to comment, share, and we'll see you all soon. Take it easy.